Sorry for the delay in getting the Wave 4 videos up. I assure you it's worth the wait though. I'm going to start off here with Voyager. And this has got to have the most stuff I have seen out of any of the expansions so far. To the point they actually had to make the clamshell that the expansion comes in thicker to compensate for everything. So we'll get right into it and show you everything that's here. First off, we have our movement dial here. They're getting better with the pictures on there, but I think it's because everything from Voyager on was filmed in high def. So the pictures are going to be much clearer now. It's a very nice maneuver dial. There's no red anywhere on the dial. There's a 6 forward, so it's a speedy little ship. Pretty maneuverable. It's got the 2 90-degree turns and the 3 90-degree turns. There you can see Voyager there. It's our Intrepid class. It's a speedy ship, maneuverable at slow speed. You can get where you need to be quickly and then maneuver around to do what you need. It doesn't have a reverse like most of the Federation ships, but still pretty good. And there's our named U.S.S. Voyager, unique, Federation. And it's got 4, 2, 4, 5, which is respectable. 5 shield's nice. The 4 attack is nice to see on a Federation ship. We have a tech slot, a weapon slot, 3 crew upgrades. For 30 points, you get evade, target lock, scan, and battle stations. And also this special ability is very similar to the one on the Enterprise D. Instead of attacking with your primary weapon, you may fire in any direction at range 1 or 2, but this one gets 4 attack dice, but it also gives you an auxiliary power token for doing it. Then we have our generic Intrepid, 4 attack, 2 agility, 4 hull, 4 shield, so you lose 1 shield, you lose 1 of your crew slots for 28 points. Definitely like the named version better. That 360-degree arc on the named version is a much needed addition to the Federation. For our captains, we have Janeway, who's unique. She's an 8, which is a little higher than I expected. It's higher than Cisco even. 1 elite slot for 5 points. And when your ship performs a evasive, scan, or battle station action, you can place an additional token of the appropriate type beside your ship. If you do, you take an auxiliary power token. Not the greatest with Voyager itself, which is kind of funny because Voyager's ability also gives you an auxiliary power token. But her on the original TOS Enterprise is amazing because of its special ability to ignore auxiliary power tokens. Next we have CHAKOTAY, another unique. He's a skill 5, 3 points. Instead of performing a normal action, you can disable him to allow 2 different crew to upgrade or perform their actions during the same round. It comes with a lot of crew options for this ship, so you see where he comes in useful later. We have our generic Federation captain. I've seen this guy before, and I'm not a huge fan of Voyager. It was one of my least favorite of the series, but somebody out there can tell me who he is. I remember the character, I just can't place his name. But he's just your normal generic captain in this. Our elite talent is Sacrifice. It's unique. 5 points. Before rolling dice during an attack or defense, you may discard this upgrade, disable your captain in order to choose the results of 2 dice. This dice cannot be re-rolled for the remainder of the attack. It has its uses, definitely with the TRANSPHASIC torpedoes on here to make sure you get a couple hits. There's other uses as well, but I think there's better uses for 5 points. But it does have its uses. It's not completely worthless like some upgrades. Of course, you can't have an iconic ship like this from a series without having all the crew. First up, we have Tuvok. He's 5 points. When firing a secondary weapon, you can disable Tuvok to roll an extra die. That one has its uses, especially with the really nice torpedoes that are in this expansion. Next, we have Harry Kim. He's 4 points. Disable Harry Kim to repair 1 shield. That's reusable. Also with CHAKOTAY as a captain, you can use him in addition to something else, so has his uses. Probably the most useful crew out of this upgrade or out of this expansion. 7 of 9, 5 points. As an action, you can disable her to place an adaptation token on any tech upgrade on an enemy ship within range 1 or 2, and You can't use that against species 8472. There's this little reference card for the adaptation tokens and how they work, and you get the token itself. Anyway, it basically lets you steal that upgrade and use it as if it were your own. Next up we have Tom Paris with 4 points. When defending, your ship rolls 1 extra defense die. Not bad. He's a passive one, so you get it all the time. You don't have to spend an action on it. Belana Torres, 4 points. She adds an additional weapon and an additional tech to the ship's upgrade bar. Very nice. For use with him as well. And the Doctor here, which we got a version of with the Equinox. He can be used as a crew or a tech upgrade. Since the ship's only limited to 3 crew upgrades, you can use Torres or the existing tech slot to throw him on board. And he, as an action, you can remove the disabled tokens from all of your crew upgrades with him. Nice because there's multiple crew that get disable actions, so you can use CHAKOTAY to disable multiple crew and then use the Doctor to re-enable them the next turn. We get into our weapon upgrades. Got your standard Federation Photon torpedoes. 5 points, range 2 to 3, 5 attack dice, takes your target lock to fire. You can convert one of your battle stations to a critical, and it can be fired from the front or rear arc. Now, the exceptional one in this is the transphasic torpedoes, which you spend your target lock and discard this, so they're only one use, which is about their only downside. It's 10 points, 10 attack dice, range 2 to 3, requires a target lock, can be fired from the front or rear, and can only be purchased for the U.S.S. Voyager. Now it doesn't say the Intrepid class, it specifically says Voyager, so these can only go on Voyager. Onto our tech upgrades, we have Bioneural Circuitry. This one's not unique, so it can be taken for other ships too, which is nice. 5 points. After you roll the dice for any reason, you may disable this upgrade to re-roll the dice. You must re-roll all of the dice and keep the second result. This is probably by far one of the best upgrades in the pack. The ablative generator is 10 points. Place or remove the ablative generator token beside your ship. It can only be purchased for the Voyager. Again, it's the named, not the generic. And then we have our reference card here. There's our ablative token. When you use it, you disable your shields, remove a cloak if any. While your ship has the ablative generator token, it can't raise its shields or cloak, but it basically converts all criticals against the ship into regular hits, and any damage the ship receives goes beneath this card. And once it receives 5 damage, it goes away, and then next turn you can raise your shields as normal. Basically, it gives you an extra 5 points of hull, but you have to lower your shield while you're using it. On to some of the other things that come with the mission. A lot of this stuff pertains to the mission that goes with it. But you've got 5 disable tokens for various crew members and other odds and ends. We got a critical. There's 2 auxiliary power tokens because of Janeway's ability. What else do we have? Target lock X. There's 2 of each of the icons, battle stations, evasive maneuver, and scan. Again, because of Janeway. They gave you 9 normal shields. And then they gave you 4 of these shield times 5 tokens, which you can use for the scenario or for various other ships that you already own. A lot of players who play cloaked players, instead of flipping over 5 tokens every time, now you can flip over one of these. So they come in handy. Then we get into the tokens that come with the mission. We get to the mission in just a minute, but it's basically the final episode of Voyager. You get 3 of these Borg Cube tokens to represent Borg Cubes for the scenario. You also get a Borg Sphere token to represent a sphere in the scenario. And you get 2 of these transwarp conduit tokens, again for use in the scenario. But if you really want to play the scenario the fun way, I mean, you have your standard Borg Sphere that's already out now. And I have a Borg Cube that I converted over for use with the HeroClix game. And of course there's the tactical cube that actually came with the HeroClix game. So these are actually a little bit smaller, I think, than the tokens. a little bit smaller than the tokens, but they make the game so much more interesting. They're actually about the size of the image on the token, so maybe that's the way it's supposed to be. Definitely, this is the model we're going to see later this year when the Tactical Cube comes out. Anyway, the mission itself is Endgame. Comes with 4 actual cards, and they're double-sided, so there's actually 8 pages worth of stuff for it. It's a huge mission. They use the page numbers again, which I'm loving on the new ones. And you're basically just trying to escape. They have their stats for the Borg Cube. 10 weapon, 0 agility, 10 shields, 10 hull. Transphasic torpedoes ignore the shields. And the Borg Spear has a 6 attack, 1 agility, 6 hull, and 6 shields. And again, the transphasic torpedoes ignore the shield. I believe you get unlimited transphasic torpedoes for the scenario, but it's part of the actual special rules for the scenario. Definitely one of the biggest as far as content expansion packs. Lots of cool stuff in here. If for anything, it's worth it just for the Borg scenario, because having the Borg templates is cool. As for the ship itself, not too bad. I've seen worse, definitely, along with all the other ships. It could use a wash. Mine came with this lower peg that actually hooks it onto the base. Wasn't actually glued into it. Not a big deal to fix, but you can see it's cracked now. When I glued it on, apparently it was crooked. And I'm a stickler for that kind of thing, so I tried to fix it. And there's our base for Voyager, front and rear arcs. And then your base for the generic Intrepid class. So there you go. All in all, a really good expansion for the Federation. Good expansion for players who like to play the scenarios. The extra stuff in there, like the X5 shield tokens, can be used with just about anything. So, I mean, there's lots of options in here. Definitely an interesting expansion with a lot of useful stuff. Pretty much a must-get if you're a Federation player, and even if you just, like I said, play the scenarios and things, there's a lot of stuff in here that's worth getting. So that's the Voyager expansion, and we'll see you in the next video.